Okay, that wasn't creepy at all. Pythagorean theorem. So this is video 32, maybe 31, 32. Okay. So Pythagorean theorem. It's a way that we can find side lengths of right triangles. Not all triangles, only right triangles. Okay, so not left triangles, right triangles. That's really corny. A squared plus b squared equals c squared is the formula. It's actually kind of an easy formula. The formula never changes. That's what you use every single time. So I've got a couple of blank right triangles here. And I know they're right triangles because it makes a right angle. I should have probably made that box there because that proves that's a right triangle. So just so you know for the future, if you see a triangle and it looks like it's a right triangle, like on a quiz or a test or something, if there's no box, like the little box here, then you don't know yet. You need to prove that's a right triangle, but that's going to be the next video. So for this one, let's label what A, B, and C are. The thing you have to remember all the time is the hypotenuse, or the longest side, or the diagonal side, or the side that is across from the right angle. So a little right angle box would be arrowing to it, pointing to it. This is always C. Always, always, always. And C is the hypotenuse. C is the longest side of the triangle every single time. Forever. Now, this is the confusing part. A squared plus B squared, could I also not write B squared plus A squared? Yes, because I'm adding them, which means that whatever these two things are, it doesn't matter the order. The orders doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Because I can add them up. So that means that this can be A and this can be B. Or, if I were to get so fancy, this can be B and this can be A. It doesn't matter. Okay, the only thing that has to be the same is this has to be C. Okay, so let's go ahead and just leave it like that. Now, typically, you'll have to find C, because that's the longest side of the triangle. So let's start with an easy one. Let's just say that this side length is 3 centimeters, and let's say that this is 4 centimeters. Well, I know that was my A or B, and my A or B. I'm going to plug it into the formula and see what I get for C. So, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Let's just pretend this is A. I know I'm twisting you around a little bit. 3 squared plus 4 squared is going to equal C squared. Okay, so then I'm just going to evaluate. I'm going to try and solve this. I know 3 squared is 9. I know 4 squared is 16. Is going to equal C squared. Okay, so let's continue on. 9 plus 16 is 25. So 25 equals C squared. But I don't want to know what C squared is. I want to know what simply C is. So I'm going to have to square root both sides of this equal sign. The only way to get rid of a square, or to the second power, is to square root it. So squaring and square rooting, they're opposites. Okay? So I'm going to square root both sides, because what I do to one side, I must do to the other. So that's going to give me C, because I just said that anything squared, if you square root it, it cancels it. So it just becomes the regular variable. You already know what the square root of 25 is. It's 5. And that's my final answer. This is going to be 5. Okay, not too bad. Let's try another one. I'm going to make up numbers here, so it's going to be a little nasty. Let's go. Hopefully you can't see that. All right, this angle here, this length here is going to be 6. This long one, let's just make it 11. And I want to find out what C is. So I'm going to plug it into the formula and see what I get. So 6 squared plus 11 squared equals C squared. I know 6 squared is 36. I know 11 squared is 121. And that's going to equal C squared, right? So I'm just going to keep going. 36 and 121, 157 equals C squared. Okay, now this is kind of the nasty part. I know I have to square root both sides. So let's practice with getting both types of answers. And what I mean by that is, this is okay for decimals. I want a decimal answer rounded to the 10th place. Tenths. So that first decimal. After the decimal, just one more number. And I also want this as a radical. So for instance, the radical version first. If I'm square rooting both sides, I get the square root of 157 equals C squared. Or I'm sorry, C. I am totally okay with that as an answer. I'm totally okay with it. Simplified or unsimplified to start. Okay, that's fine as an answer. So that means the hypotenuse is the square root of 157, whatever unit I said. Now, I also want you to be able to get the decimal version of this. So I'm going to do the square root of 157, and I'm rounding to the 10th place. So this is also represented as C equals 12.5. So 12.5 is my answer too. Now keep in mind, remember, C has to be the longest side of the triangle. So that's 12.5. It's greater than 11. It's definitely greater than 6. Okay? That's your deal. I think I have some practice problems on the theorem for you, but I'm not going to go over them because this is actually pretty easy. So get it done. 5 minutes and 22 seconds. Bye-bye.